Episode of Realities May Vary. The podcast does what it wants, when it wants. I'm Brian Noonan. With me, as always, a man who in the past I have jokingly at times, seriously at others, questioned his commitment, questioned his drive to not only on this, but on our other shows as well. And yet today, Cody makes up for all of my questioning because he is coming from death's door. He has pulled himself out of his sickbed to join us tonight. I'm shocked, but Cody, welcome. We see you coughing. We don't hear it. It's very nice. You have a microphone. There you go. Now I'm glad you had a cough button. How are you?
I am better than I was Friday. I am COVID positive. Everyone.
Oh,
yeah.
Was it from that? Was it a cult? Who'd you go see?
Oh. Probably. I saw the cult downtown. It was either the cult or the 35 minutes I waited for the red line because there was an unauthorized person on the track, which I think is their nice way of saying someone got hit by a train.
Yeah. Well, that is unauthorized. They're not authorized to hit people.
That's fair. So, someone, I don't know. Oh, I'm going to lower my blind a little bit.
All right.
So you're seeing my generic office desk setup. You can see the podcast studio behind me with the dragon.
There's the dragon
also. But
you won something in 2020. We're very excited to see that on the wall.
Lots of things. I win things all the time. But yeah, I am.
You won the COVID lottery this weekend?
I definitely won the COVID lottery. Man, yeah, it's yeah.
All right, so let's start at the beginning. How did you know? Because last Monday, everything was hunky-dory with you. I was having my issues. And then the week goes on, and what was it, Wednesday that you went to see the cult?
Tuesday night.
Wednesday? Tuesday night. All right.
Yeah, Tuesday night was great. Tuesday night was great. Wednesday was great. Thursday was great. Ironically,
wow.
I've been in the worst physical shape of my life, and I've been meaning to get an exercise routine going on. So Thursday at 4 p.m., I went to see a personal trainer.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah.
You gave up on the exercise bike in the basement?
No, I mean, that's still, it's summer. If I want to do cardio, I'll go outside.
Okay, fair enough.
Unless it's scorchingly hot, but if it's scorchingly hot outside, I don't want to exercise anyway. Anyway. I went to a personal trainer at 4 p.m. It was just a consultation, so we didn't work out, but I didn't know what the first session would be like. So we talked to him for a half hour or so. And right when I walked in, I had a little tickle in the back of my throat.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, that is weird. And a mild cough, but it was different than any cough I've ever felt before. Because it wasn't heavy. It wasn't a heavy chest cough. You know how sometimes you get the big heavy chest cough.
Yeah.
It wasn't a mucusy cough. It wasn't I had a lot of phlegm or anything like that.
Non-productive, as the doctors would say.
Yeah. But there was a tightness really high up in my chest, really high, just below my your windpipe or whatever. A little bit of tightness there, and the cough was coming from there, but like I said, a different higher spot than a normal cough.
All right.
Almost from the mouth, kind of if you're the difference between taking a deep breath and talking from your diaphragm versus just from your head, but a cough. So I had that, and then Thursday night, then I started, because of the tightness, I was terrified that I was going to die, and then my wife and son would have to fend for themselves because it was COVID.
Hold on. So Thursday you go to the thing, right? Thursday you don't know it's COVID. Mm-hmm. So did you take a test at home? Did you go to a Walgreens? How did you get your diagnosis?
Yeah, I just went to bed Thursday not really knowing what was going on, and then
but you were afraid you were going to die.
Yeah. Friday morning I was something's wrong. I need a COVID test, and so my wife went and got one. And I took it, and you're supposed to wait 15 minutes for the line to appear. It appeared after about a minute.
Okay, so you're in. You got good COVID.
Yeah, and then I called off on my meetings. I was supposed to present at the all hands meeting for my company. I had stuff, but I was and then like 10 or 11 a.m. I'm like, like I work from home. I feel off. I feel a little weird, but like I could probably still like do meetings or check emails or like, I could probably still functional. And by like an
Because
hour,
this is America, and God forbid we take a day off sick
because it's America.
because we're in the hustle economy.
Right. And I want to be clear, I have a very supportive team. And if I had said I need the day off, they happily would be like, okay. So, so that was the internal pressure. But by like an hour later, I was like, nope, never mind. I am in really bad shape.
Whoa.
And then my Friday was the sickest I have ever felt in my life. And I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it like? What were you feeling?
It was like the flu, but way worse. Like I swear to God, I've been saying for years. I've been saying this on this podcast. I've said this. When people are like, "Oh, it's just like the flu, but worse." Like I've been saying, I'm like, "Do you know what it's like to have the flu?"
Most of us haven't had a real flu in a long time.
Having the flu blows so bad. Having the flu is excruciating. You feel like you want to die because your whole body is miserable. You're nauseous, you're weak. This was way worse than that. This was this was not like the flu. The only way it's like the flu is that like some of the symptoms are kind of similar to flu symptoms, but this was way worse. Like it's only like the flu in as much as like there is no other close analog, but it is its own thing.
Yes.
Like
it's like the flu because they are both viruses.
Yes. I would much rather have the flu. I would rather have the flu like 3 times than have COVID flu again.
Wow.
It was,
and it came on, after the initial things on Thursday where you had like the little tickle and then the weird cough, did it come on really fast, or did it as Friday morning did you start feeling worse, or were you like, oh, I'm okay, and then bam, no, I'm not okay?
It didn't like hit me like a sack of bricks, but there was a point where I was like, I just need to lay down, and I had like really bad chills.
No.
So I like went upstairs in bed, and I'm like, I gotta lay down, wrap myself up in a blanket. I had the chills. I felt nauseous. I didn't eat all day, like anything. Because I knew I couldn't keep anything down, but like,
no,
my wife made me, I was like, I should get omega-3s because I heard those are good. So Friday night, I asked my wife to boil me like 6 hard-boiled eggs, and she brings the bowl, and I forced fed
cool
myself.
hand, Luke.
Yeah.
My boy Cody says he could eat 6 boiled eggs. He could eat 6 hard-boiled eggs.
Well, my goal is 50, but
right. Well, that's, if you got to work up to cool hand Luke status.
I figured maybe COVID, maybe it would just like the virus would eat the eggs for me, like a tapeworm.
How many did you force down?
Because
right there, just that part of the story makes me want to throw up. Not the nauseous part or the chills, or just the fact that you were going to force feed yourself 6 hard-boiled eggs sounds horrific.
I got one down and I almost threw up.
Oh God.
But
so then your son had egg salad the next day.
No, I
ate
the
5 leftover eggs.
I ate them eventually.
Oh.
But when I laid down, I laid down and I was just like miserable and I couldn't sleep. And then for a couple hours, like 5 p.m., I tried to nap, and then I got up for a little bit. But like when I went to bed, I was having trouble taking a full deep breath, and I was so drained of energy I couldn't physically move.
Oh my God.
I like actually had my wife like roll me over on my side because like I couldn't turn to like drink the NyQuil that she had brought up.
Whoa.
And so I did that, and she put on a humidifier, and I laid there, and I thought, like, if this gets any worse, I'm going to have to go to the hospital. And thankfully it didn't. Like, I slept about 6 or 7 hours, and like, if I slept, I mean, in and out. I was not asleep fast the whole time.
Yeah.
But my fever broke. My fever broke, and I felt pretty terrible Saturday, but not that, like, not debilitated. The shortness of breath went away. Sunday was much the same, but like for the last 48 hours or so, it's 3 days into it now because it came on about
Jeez.
like 4 p.m. Thursday. So like about 36 hours later, I was over the worst of it, it seems. Then the 48 hours since then has been really like very up and down. So I'll have a burst of energy.
Okay.
I'll be like, I can work all day. This is great. And that'll last for like 10 to 30 minutes.
That's it?
And then I get slammed with just like whatever. Like this morning, I had a 90-minute meeting. We have a leadership meeting every Monday morning. And I did the meeting. About an hour into it, I started to kind of flag. And right after the meeting, I had to go lay down and my head felt like a cloud. Like I had like drank a bottle of NyQuil. Like, and I brought my laptop with me because I'm like, oh, check a couple emails and then like take a nap or something. Open my laptop and I was like looking at the screen, just like I can't even read right now. Like I can't like comprehend what's on it. So if it's like this tomorrow, I might just take the whole day off because like I don't know when I'm like functional and when I'm not.
Yeah, and you can't be in the middle of something and then be completely out of it.
And it's pointless to like, why try? Why do that? Why not rest? You know?
Yeah. Well, you're doing it because in this culture, we don't value taking time to get better.
Yeah.
Even when it's something like this. So the energy is still lagging. Obviously, you've been coughing because we hear you coughing here, but like the fever was gone, thankfully, by Saturday.
I think the fever's gone. Yeah. But
Jesus.
I'll overheat. So like Sunday, I think partway into the day, my wife needed help moving something, not even that heavy, outside in our shed. And I got up and I moved it, and I immediately felt like, oh, actually, the worst symptom was the headache.
Really?
Friday and Saturday morning, I woke up with this excruciating, like the worst headache I've ever had. And I just had to take like several ibuprofen, and that's coming in and out. But I moved this not even that heavy thing on Sunday, and then like I immediately had a splitting headache, and my temperature rose.
Oh wow!
So like I've tried going on a couple walks, and when I go outside after like 15 minutes, I just overheat, and I just like start to feel kind of all over the place.
Maybe it's time to just not do anything for a day.
Yeah, I'm thinking
this coming from the guy who does not stop taking his pain medicine on Tuesday because he was tired of sleeping so much. So I know it's take it with a grain of salt, but it sounds like you need a couple days to just unplug and sleep. But are you in like the guest room? Where are you quarantining from your family, or have you infected everyone?
Well, I did kick my spouse out of the bedroom the first couple nights because I'm like, there's no way. We think she got it, but her symptoms are not nearly as bad. She's basically sniffly. A little bit of a minor cough, but it's not that. My son has it.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The wee one.
Yeah. So I hope my family is not watching because we've not told them yet. But he tested positive. He has had a really, really bad couple days.
That's awful.
And like when he was running a fever for like 48 hours.
That's scary for little kids.
It's scary. It was
scary for you, but it's scary for little kids.
We checked all the CDC guidelines. We checked the doctor. It's not so high. It's like dangerous. He's seems to be on the mend. We think his fever broke earlier today, so that's good. But
has he had any eggs and toast?
He's I don't know if he has.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah. He's a trooper, but man, it's
that sucks.
He's the same as me. Like he'll play like nothing's wrong for an hour,
right?
And then he'll stop, and he's just like catatonic, like just zones out, and then he'll like cling and need his mama, and won't let us put him down. But then he'll like flip back and forth like a light switch.
Jeez.
So it's kind of how I feel on the inside. Is like I can burst, but like I couldn't, like if we were gonna do all 2 hours, and I know we won't tonight, but like I
Yeah,
don't
no.
think I wouldn't last, right?
Right,
Like
exactly. Yeah.
I just like, ugh. But yeah, it's
Wow. That sucks.
man,
And to be clear, and I'm not violating any HIPAA laws because you've talked about it. You're vaccinated and boosted, right? Have you gotten your second booster yet?
so no.
Oh, dude.
My last booster was in November. And so that's why I wanted to come on the podcast as a public service announcement. If you're eligible for another round of boosters, please get it because the vaccine and the booster will not prevent you from getting COVID. You will
Correct.
still get the virus, but it will significantly reduce the symptoms in many cases. And I wish I had done that. So this graphic description I've just spent 20 minutes doing of how miserable I was is really truly like I wanted to come on the show tonight and be like, COVID is not like the flu. It is significantly worse and different and painful in a different way than the flu is painful, while also being painful in the way that the flu is painful. And the flu is already really bad. And
Now you're going to hear from people go, well, I had it and I was fine. Blah, blah, blah. That's the chance you take. You roll the dice. Everybody's going to get different. As soon as I saw your tweets, because that's the only way we communicate when we're not here, is I read your tweets and then I respond to them. But I saw you were sick and I said to Debbie, I go, we did get our second boosters, right? Because we're over 50. And she was like, yeah, we got them in April. So I was like, okay, we're still good. And then as I'm watching all weekend, because now, you had it, somebody else I know has it. And then the reports coming out of this new variant, and everybody said, oh, you got to go back to, maybe we'll have to start wearing our masks again, which I still do when I go to like the grocery store and all these places. It's scary, because even though like you're going to live, thank God. But who knows? Everything you read, like this fatigue could go on for a little while. It's nuts.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom on the quarantine cast either. This is what we used to call it.
Yes.
But
it's good that, maybe now, maybe there's people who watch or listen and they haven't known anybody who got it. And so now they can put a face. You're the new face of COVID.
Hey, man, it's what I've always wanted.
Wow. Yeah, Mike's saying you can't go to the Ren Fair now.
Well, we were going to go to the Ren Fair yesterday.
Yes.
And the day before that, we had tickets to see this show at the Looking Glass Theater that my wife has literally been talking about for 6 years that somehow every year we miss and whatever.
What show?
They do it's the Looking Glass Theater's production of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, it sounds lovely.
She has raved about it as like one of the best live shows she's ever seen, literally for more than 5 years. And every year I just don't go something comes up.
Did you get COVID on purpose so you wouldn't have to go see Alice in Wonderland?
I don't want to say yes.
Then don't. You're in a fatigued state. Your mind may be a little off. I don't want you to answer any question that could come back to haunt you later and get you canceled at home.
Yeah.
So now that the whole family has it, did you throw like one of those extermination tents over the house? Do you have a sign on the front door that COVID, nobody comes to the door, they just drop stuff and they run, like they used to do with measles and scarlet fever?
We probably should. Like I said, like I would love to at least go for a walk outside. And in my head, I'm like, if I see a neighbor from afar, I'll just yell, I have COVID, and cross the street or just be clear about it. But I can't go outside. Like it's truly like it's.
Here's the thing: you can exercise enough when you feel better.
You know what, Brian? I know how you feel all the time now.
Right? See, yeah, you just feel awful all the time.
No. About not being able to do stuff. Because you're like, oh, I'm going to get a toe surgery. I'll just mow the lawn. That's fine.
Dumb. Today, I'm going to go to the store by myself. Pushing the cart at Costco. I called Debbie from the car. I go, you're going to have to help me get the stuff out of the car. I'm in so much pain.
Oh, my God, really?
Just from pushing, yeah. But yes, so I know you want to do stuff. You want to work because if you're not working, you feel like, even though you have sick days and paid time off, and they, your team is going to go, oh, he's really sick with COVID. Of course, he's not going to work. In our minds, we have to keep working.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, I can't be helpless. I have to do stuff, even though I do it and I'm like, oh, that was a mistake. I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're welcome to my world. It's not a fun place to live.
I know that. I've known you long enough. I know you well enough for that. It's I've got a baby too. So
yeah. So what's he? I mean, he's sick, so he's probably, like you said, there's the time when he has that big energy. Does it sync? Has it synced up with your good energy time and your wife's good energy time, or are you all three like hitting your feel good moments at different times of the day? Oh, we cannot hear you.
Oh, she's the whole. Yeah, she's the duct tape holding the whole family together. I mean, she's, like I said, she's got a little cough, but she doesn't. She seems to be fine. Well, she's had it before. She had it a year ago and was asymptomatic. She's got some super antibodies or something. I don't know.
It's all that yoga.
It's got to be.
Could it be? Who knows? Some Eastern medicine.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know.
So did you go back and listen to old episodes of Joe Rogan to try to figure out how to make yourself better?
I was thinking about that, Brian, and what you've got to remember about Joe Rogan is that he's actually a comedian and an MMA commentator. So
right.
if he doesn't understand, if he's not an expert on the science of COVID as a comedian and mixed martial artist commentator, then what qualifications could you have that would make you more of an expert?
Well, I'm gonna venture a guess. An MD?
MD what? MDMA?
No, like you've been educated and certified a doctor?
What's
no?
That?
A physician, a scientist?
Is that like the? Oh, he was the former host of Fear Factor.
That's
Mike.
true, and the most successful podcaster on the planet. Let's not leave that out.
Well, sure, but more importantly, he's a comedian and a mixed martial artist commentator.
Correct.
So that's where I get all my.
You're saying you did listen. You did go back, and that's why you're doing better.
Oh, yeah. Well, I downed about 4 gallons of ivermectin. I actually ingested it rectally last 3
Straight out of a horse?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that where it comes from?
No, it's for a horse, I think. I don't know. I don't want like somebody's going to hear that. Somebody's going to pull that out of context and go, listen, they're giving out fake medical advice. And then we're going to have to deal with all the social media platforms and we're going to get canceled and doxxed and all that other garbage. So I'm glad it seems that the worst is over. Would that be fair? Would that be a fair assumption?
I hope so. I from anecdotally from what I've heard of everyone that's gotten it, right? It starts really bad and gets better. I got to say though, just for anyone who, I think I've scared off between the two of us, we've scared off, but mostly I have scared off most listeners by now who don't really feel like doing the vaccine thing. But if you're afraid of side effects from the vaccine, I'm going to tell you right now, if one of the side effects of the vaccine was sprouting antlers out of your asshole, I would still rather get the vaccine than get COVID again.
Hold on. I'm going to look that up, see if that is in fact one of the side effects. I don't believe it is.
If one of the side effects of the vaccine was sprouting a 9-inch purple penis out of your forehead that is constantly drizzling baby oil, I would still rather have that happen than get COVID again.
Is that permanent or temporary?
Permanent.
Wow. All right.
I cannot emphasize enough how much worse it is to have COVID than anything else.
Wow.
That can happen to you that you have control over. That's all.
Jesus. It sounds completely awful. And because I am, Mr. first of all, now I'm getting FOMO. I'm getting COVID FOMO because everybody I know is getting it and I'm not getting it. So I've had like a little runny nose for a few days. Could be allergies, but yesterday I took a test because I had to go out and do a show last night. And I'm like, oh, let me do it. And we've got, when I say I've got 20 boxes of COVID tests in the closet, that is not an exaggeration. Because every month, Debbie's firm sends, I think, 2 boxes. So like 4 tests a month. So we have tests all over the place. So I take one and I'm like, oh, part of me is like, well, I hope I get it because I didn't really want to do the show last night. And the other part of me is like, oh, but Cody said it's really bad. So I hope I don't have it. So I was, confused. I tested negative, thank goodness. And Debbie had tested a couple times last week because she had a little dry cough. And I said to her, you've been coughing for a few days. You better take one of those tests. And now I just want to take the test because I want to use them up. But so I'm nervous. I'm nervous. When you said that, I was worried about you. And then I immediately thought of your young child and your bride. And then, of course, I had to make it about me. So I was like, oh, I'm feeling kind of sick, too. Maybe I should take a test. So, yeah, I don't know.
Did you get free kits from the government?
Twice. We signed up, and we did that twice whenever they offered it. So they've sent us 4, I think, boxes. And then we get the ones from Debbie's office. And I'm getting pretty good at it. Doing the test, sit on the bed, got everything balanced there. It's, it's fun. So when can you now get your second booster? How long do you have to wait? Do you know? Is there a time limit after you're infected that you can go get the booster?
There is. I'll check the CDC site. I can't remember.
Oh my goodness.
Follow-up public service announcement.
Yes.
So, my wife is going back to she got the COVID test. I test positive. She goes back. She gets another COVID test. She, kid test positive. She keeps going back and forth. And I was like, I know you can get them from the government. So I just Google how to get a free COVID test from the government. Top result is a CDC or no, it's not even that. It's the U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah, it's from the Postal Service.
Literally the top result, you click it, you just put in your name and address and click submit and they send it.
I did it for my mom.
Nothing else is required.
Yeah. So my mom got them. She didn't even know. She's like, I got COVID tests in the mail. I was like, yeah, we signed you up. Oh, okay. So it's like that old joke where you could send people, prank phone call and send somebody a pizza. Except this, you can send somebody some COVID tests. They don't have to pay for it. They'll just get COVID tests in the mail and they go, oh, look at me.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you haven't gotten them, it's not a hassle. There's no forms you fill out. You literally put your name and address on the top Google result and click submit. And they're like, okay, here's a couple kits.
And the great thing for conspiracy nuts, the post office already has your address. That's how you get all your MAGA newsletters and stuff. So it's all good. The post office already knows where you live. So you can just head on over.
Ooh, Marta put a link in the chat. Thank you, Marta.
Thank you, Marta. Yes, it does, and it works. I'm like I said, we've done it twice because I think there's a certain amount of time that you can do it, but before you can get some more. And both times we did it for us, we did it for my mom, and she got them. So, man, oh man. Well, now this is becoming what we just did for the last 34 minutes. Is every conversation I've had with friends and most people for the last couple of years, nothing but health-related conversation. Everybody's got something that's going on, some horrible health thing. Thankfully, yours will pass in time. It's not like a terminal thing. I hope you're not a long hauler. Have you? I don't think 4 days counts as a long haul yet.
Not quite yet. No, not yet.
Now, I forget your timetable. When did you, or maybe you didn't say, when did your son start to exhibit symptoms? When did he come down with it? Was it about the same time you did?
It was, I think it was Saturday.
Okay.
I think it was Saturday. Yeah.
So he got it from you. There's no two ways about it.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. You came into the house after your wild night downtown and you infected your entire family.
I did. That crossed my mind when I was waiting for the red line and I'm looking around and I didn't have a mask on at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go to a show by myself and bring COVID home to my wife and kids. So I put a mask on and And in downtown Chicago, I've been pretty cavalier the last few months. So the
As
fact
have
that
I.
the fact that I put on a mask, I think says something about like I just, well, first of all, just me not wanting to get my family sick, but also just like, well, also putting the mask on smelled a lot better than the red line. Frankly,
I would not take the red line anymore between unauthorized people on the tracks and people getting beaten and shot and COVID and no. And you know how much I loved public transportation before the pandemic. So, but you have never. Let's also be clear that we're not victim blaming. You have been very diligent throughout this whole process. You were not carefree about the whole COVID pandemic. But like you, I have also eased up, and it's weird because you don't know where you're going to get it. But I, in my mind, and maybe you do too, like on the train, I would have put a mask on. But if I'm going into a restaurant, we went out, the whole family got together Saturday, went out to dinner. We didn't wear masks in the restaurant, you know, and then we go about our business. I went to the Jewel, I put a mask on, and Costco, I put a mask on. But, it's not always on anymore. But I think it's going to start being on all the time now.
Yeah. I mean, out of sight, out of mind, right? Susan, the red line is what the circles of hell. I love
she
that.
Is right. Susan is correct.
True. Out of sight, out of mind. It hasn't been in the news, or it is in the news, but we're fatigued from hearing about it.
So we're ignoring it. And every time it is mentioned, and all these new variants are coming up, and they're urging everyone again to get the booster and get the second booster if you're eligible, and to be careful. People don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
And the businesses don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it.
Oh God. Well, and if you click, the clicks generate traffic. No one's clicking on it anymore. So, very intensely for-profit media companies have no incentive to cover it. Like, right? They're just like, oh, well, no one, it doesn't make us money, so who cares?
Right.
But more people have died of COVID in June and July in the US this year than last year. So it is worse year over year, death-wise. And, I don't know if you'd heard that before, or if you're listening to this podcast and you've heard that.
Cite your sources.
But that was news to me. So now I'm like, oh, so, take this. It's not, this isn't a woe is me. It's just a cautionary tale. And like, just maybe a reminder to people, like, start paying attention again. Cause I think things yet again are going to get worse before they get better. And now's a good time to like stay vigilant. We have 4 more weddings this year. So if anything, it's kind of like, well, at least, and I used to think kind of, when I would test, I'd be like, well, I hope I'm positive so I can just get it over with.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to get COVID. The second the symptoms got bad, I did not. I was like, I no longer thought that. I'm like, no, it's not worth it. There's no part of this I'm excited about. But
and now that you can get it, even if you've had it, because that was the thing before.
Right.
Oh, if you've had it, you can't get it. Or, if you're vaccinated, you're not going to get it. Well, that's all hogwash.
Right. But the silver lining of the whole thing is that this weekend are not things we can never do again for the rest of our lives. But like 2 of my best friends getting married, or my cousin getting married, like those are events that would have been, or my wife's really good friend that we're going to go to his wedding. Like those aren't things you can, you
don't want to miss them.
So the timing relative to the rest of our fall is, or God forbid in December when we're supposed to have a baby coming, like, at least I can go to the hospital with her. But
maybe we hope,
assuming I'm healthy. But so things could have been.
Well, they're still not letting people in. When I got my when I had my wrist surgery, Debbie couldn't wait. They called. She had to leave because they only had a small waiting room. They don't let people wait still. And so it was, you got to go and we'll call you, stay close. So she went to Starbucks.
Nice.
Sat around. Yeah.
What did she get?
Bored, aggravated. She did.
I meant to drink.
Oh, some sort of, I don't know, some sort of. She got one regular coffee, she said, after she got her venti. She has a bunch of adjectives for her drink. Sugar, it's iced, hazelnuts, sugar-free, quad, I don't know, something, latte.
Quad-core processor with an M16 chip.
She's very old. Yeah, she's very old school. She's dial-up.
She's what?
She's dial-up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's old school.
A dial-up latte. Well,
A dial-up latte. She dialed up the lattes.
So wait, is this? I blame you now.
What do you blame? What are you blaming me for?
Unless
I wasn't even near you.
This podcast has featured some kind of health ailment for the last several weeks. Now,
Always.
If you did not have a health ailment, then it's your fault that I had to come with a health ailment this week.
Well, no, I would have. I was already to. I was already to talk about a lot of bad decisions that went into this thing on my wrist.
The wrist brace.
The wrist brace. The custom made wrist brace. That they made me make a lot of decisions while I was looped on opioids. Because I was taking the heavy duty opioids all weekend. Last Monday when we were doing the show, I was a little out of it because I'd been on these for the pain. And all I did was sleep. It's Tuesday, I have to go for my surgical follow-up. And the good news is everything's fine. The doctor was like, well, you really needed this procedure, turns out, once we got in there, but everything's great. Okay, now we're going to send you downstairs, and they're going to make you a brace. So you don't have to be in a cast. It's a removable brace, but it's made out of cast material, and it's basically a cast. The woman who was making it, the technician, was like, since you're an adult, if you're just sitting and you can put your hand on a pillow and not move it, you can take it off once in a while. I only did that once. It's too much of a hassle. Anyway, she starts to make it. Now, this is how old I am, Cody. When I was young, there was only one color cast. It was white. And your friends would ask you to sign it, and then they'd draw a big penis on it, and you'd have to go through 6 weeks with a giant crank on your arm, and your mom would go, what is that? And you're trying to, color it in. Now they have a bunch of colors, and I'm like out of it. She's like, what color? And I'm looking, there were like 8 colors or 10 colors for the actual main cast, which I made green. And I'm like, green, I like green. That'll be good. She's like, okay, that's great. She takes the green and she wraps it and it's all good. She goes, what color for the inside? And I'm like, oh, well, there were like 5 colors for that. Like, navy. Put navy blue with the green. That'll look kick ass. That's going to be great. She's like, okay. So she lines it, she makes it. And then she goes, oh, you got to pick the tape color. I'm like, oh, the tape color. And she holds up a board and there's 10 colors of tape. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, I got green. I go, oh, there's purple and gold. I go, purple and gold. Can I do 2 colors? And she's like, well, yeah, there's 3 straps. You can do 2 colors if you want. I go, I want purple and gold and green because that's like Mardi Gras. And then, so she puts it together and puts it out. I'm like, oh, this is kick ass. This looks great. And she goes, well, what color do you want the sock for the inside? You want that white or black? And I'm like, oh, black. So I leave there thinking this is the coolest thing I've ever created. And Tuesday night, I went to bed. I took my last dose of the painkiller because I figured I can't sleep anymore. I'm doing nothing. I'm completely useless. And that does not fly with me. So Wednesday, once all the opioids are out of my system, I look at my wrist and I'm like, oh my God, what kind of monstrosity did I create that now I have to wear for 3 more weeks?
Hold it up again.
So I've got this thing on the camera. The tape looks a little blue, but trust me, it is purple. This is gold and this is purple. And then there's green all through here. So it's very exciting. Way too many colors. And I'm like, I wish there had been, a sober person in there with me who would have just gone, hey, what do you think about, maybe just the green? The green is fine. Go green and white. That would be lovely. Or how about just black or navy blue? Or how about just one monochromatic? That would be nice. Draw a little less attention to yourself, thirsty. Now I'm walking around waving this thing. There's no chance people aren't looking and going, oh, what happened to that? What did he do to his arm? It's like a colorblind imbecile with bad impulse control created this. So that's yeah. So that's that. But yeah. So now, but now I'm, I'm doing what I'm not supposed to do. I'm trying to do too much. And Debbie yells at me, stop, you did, but I can't just sit around. There's some stuff I can do, but I can't push on anything like that.
Yeah, no, same here. I've got this horrendous wall project downstairs.
Yeah, you can't do that now.
Well, the next step is I just got to finish doing a little bit of spackle and then, paint it. But
Yeah.
all I need to do is put the little putty in there. But I have known and I have not pushed myself. I'm just like, I can't do it.
Dude, your wall will be there next week.
I know. Well,
your job will be there in a couple days. Everything. I see it with Debbie. I see it with myself. I see it with Molly. Nobody wants to take the time to take care of themselves. Honestly, you're as wonderful as your company is. They're not going to go if God forbid something had happened to you. They would go, well, wish he had worked a little more. Your wife and your son aren't going to go, I'm glad he worked those extra days when he was really sick.
Yeah.
I watched my dad go to work every day, whether he was sick or not. Horribly sick. Now, granted, back in the day, he got to carry over all his sick days. So when he retired, he cashed in like a year's salary's worth of sick days. But I'm wondering if he would have been better off to take a couple of those sick days and stay in bed. However, there were the 5 of us at home, so probably not. He probably got a lot more rest at work than he ever would have done at home.
Yeah, so, yeah.
But now you work at home, so you can just,
I'm gonna do some Googling on what remote workers should do when they get COVID. Not that I don't need that validation, right? Like right. I'm a socialist, right? Like
yes, you are.
Whatever that means to you.
You don't feed into the capitalist machine.
I'm severely anti late stage capitalism.
Because you work for free, right?
Oh, sure.
Okay, just checking.
Oh, yeah. No, but like I will stand up for myself, and I don't feel that need, right? Like if I'm sick, I'm going to take a sick day.
Yeah.
But I want to understand how not working will help me recover more quickly from COVID. Yeah. So that I maybe feel a little bit more justified because it's so easy for anybody over a certain age, I think, especially to just say like, you're working from home. You don't have to go anywhere. Just work anyway. It doesn't matter if you're sick.
No.
And I get that, but it is hard. Like I'll do it.
It's hard to, yes.
I had a 30-minute meeting and it was hard. I was like, I am tired after this, like.
Right. You're still working. Just because you're sitting in your office at home, it's the same as if you were sitting in your office in a place of business, except maybe you don't have to get dressed, so you're going to feel a little better, or maybe you can sneak off for, a nap.
Yeah.
But there's still the stress, there's still the fatigue, all of that. I don't know. I'm good at preaching that message now, but we've all gone to work sick. We've all done stuff we shouldn't, but at this point, I'm just over it. Because it used to just be if somebody came to work with a cold or I went in with a cold, worst you can give somebody is a cold. Now, if you go in somewhere when you're sick, one, you could give them COVID. They could end up like you. Or if you're at home, it's going to prolong it. Because Debbie yelled at me, I would apologize last weekend for sleeping. She's like, your body needs to sleep. That's what you're doing. You're supposed to sleep to get better. Well, you got to do that too. I did on opioids, try to do some work, like legit work. I don't know if it worked out. I'm not sure. But yeah, you got to rest. You got to rest up. Or try to do like an hour, go, hey, I'm in from 9 to 10. That's it. Uh-oh. A lot of info coming in.
Yeah, I'm reading the comments. About long haul COVID-19, Marcia read somewhere that the current science is, okay.
So you don't want to go back. There may be the association with going back too soon and being a long hauler.
Yeah.
And unless you're a truck driver, you don't want to be called a long hauler.
And I work my butt off. I'm okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel guilty if I'm like, I need a couple days, guys. So like I said, I'm unless I feel markedly better in the morning, I'm just gonna be like, guys,
Good.
I need a full day off. And
Yep.
but the hard part, to your point, apologizing for napping, I get that with the guilt with the parenting.
Sure.
Because, like, I'm going to take the day off work, sure, but then I'm laying on the couch screwing around on my phone. My 2-year-old's running around screaming and crying because he's got a fever and my wife is handling it. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's
is you dealing with your son when you're both that sick, helping either one of you?
I don't know. I mean, when we found out he was sick, I was like, let me take him, let me.
Right. You guys could have quarantined together.
Right.
You and your 2-year-old son in one room nonstop.
Oh my God. That'd be awful.
When he has a fever and he's because nobody's as good a kid as he is, nobody's a good kid when they have a fever and stuff. Doesn't matter because they're sick. They don't know why, and they can't express what's making them sick. They're just like, I feel like garbage, but I don't even know what that is because I don't know what garbage is yet because I'm 2.
One funny thing happened today.
Did it involve diarrhea?
No diarrhea anywhere.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
I don't actually think I've pooped since Thursday.
That's a good update. Is that part of the symptoms?
I don't think that was a joke. Uh-oh.
Is it because you haven't eaten?
I've eaten plenty.
Uh-oh. Better check in.
Doesn't matter. He goes, let's go for a walk. And he walks over and he like grabs our hand and he wants to go for a walk outside. It's like, okay. So we go out through the garage, we open the garage door and I'm like, all right, I will try to walk like to the end of the block. There was a cool
end of the driveway.
Yeah. Well, there was a cool breeze. So we walk about halfway down the driveway. He walks halfway down the driveway and then just completely melts down. He starts screaming and then my wife was like, let's go in the backyard where there's shade because it was like there was no shade in our driveway. So we like walk back in the garage. He's like, no. And he like violently throws his body around. So I pick him up. We literally made it halfway down the driveway. That's like 2 car lengths.
Yeah.
And walked him back inside. And he is just like thrashing around and screaming and kicking. And like, it was so over the top. I just started laughing hysterically. And my wife started laughing just because I was laughing.
Yeah.
And like, that's not funny. I'm like, I know, but it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I was like, he feels the way I feel when I go outside and try and exert myself. Like,
but you can explain it. He can't. So him thrashing around is like, why is this happening to my body?
Yeah.
Well, maybe by like Thursday you'll get to the sidewalk, and that's good. We'll look at baby steps. By the weekend, maybe you make it the 2 houses to the corner. Or maybe you stay in bed for 3 days and then you don't do anything.
I wouldn't mind that. # squad goals. Yeah, I know I shouldn't have laughed, but it was just so totally over the top, like.
Well, if you don't laugh, you're gonna. You gotta laugh at a certain point. That's not bad parenting. That's trying to keep your sanity. Because what's there to do? You can't reason with him. You get it. You know why he's doing this. It's just so absurd and so sad at the same time. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, no.
Man, oh man.
He's had more screen time in the last 48 hours than he has his entire life combined. I was
gonna say, you don't usually let him have any screen time.
Oh no, I now know every episode of Paw Patrol.
Really? I'm very familiar with Paw Patrol. I've never seen an episode of Paw Patrol. How did you decide this was the show he was going to watch?
He saw an episode of my parents' house, and now he says, I want to watch Paw Patrol.
Whew, I'm glad it was your mom and dad because I didn't want him to ever leave here and rat us out that we had let him watch TV when he was here.
You'll like this. I had a brilliant idea, though.
Yes.
Because Paw Patrol is annoying. It's so annoying. Like there's
It's
just
little dogs, right? Who have jobs. The dog, like one's a fireman and one's a cop.
it's
Is there
dogs
a
yelling.
mare dog?
Yeah, it's dogs yelling at each other, and there's annoying sound effects and little. I'm like, you know what sport? I bet. You know what I bet he would watch that's much more calm and less abrasive. So I
Puppy bowl?
googled. No, I googled women's tennis.
Wow.
And I put on a 2-hour YouTube video of Maria Papanova playing women's tennis. And he
Yeah.
sat on my lap and he was like comatose for like 10 minutes. Just
Listening to the grunts and watching.
Yeah.
Wow. He likes his ladies in short skirts grunting. Like father, like son.
Well, the ball goes back and forth. So
That's true.
you can follow it really easily. There's no jump cuts or anything.
Right.
It's a great sport to watch.
Okay, if you have a kid with COVID, that might forget all the other medications. Throw on some women's tennis.
Now, but men's too. I know works.
You got to watch it too. You might as well.
He likes women.
Okay. Listen, whatever he likes, he likes. I'm more concerned that he likes tennis. I don't care who he's watching play. I'm concerned about the tennis thing.
Tennis is fun to watch.
I guess.
All
right. It's fine. It's all right. I'm not casting aspersions on tennis.
Mm.
Now, how long will he watch tennis before he wants Paw Patrol back?
About 10 minutes.
And have you had a conversation with your parents about why they turned him on to Paw Patrol?
We'll get there.
All right. Yeah. Listen, but now I'm off the hook. Next time he comes, all we're doing is watching TV. We're just going to lay on the floor with trucks and blocks and bow wows. The only time we'll stop watching TV is to eat eggs and toast.
After this weekend, you can have him anytime.
No, now I know he's got disease. You can come after he's healed. I'm going to need a couple negative tests when he comes next time.
All right, that's fine.
We're going to need some things. No, we can't. Well, I'm looking forward. He is coming, but not for a while. But he is coming again for an overnight stay, which is very nice. So yeah, I don't. This was weird because it's America. 2 shootings in the last 3 days. One at a comedy club. Saturday night in Charleston, Charleston, or Charlotte rather, Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Comedy Zone. Craig Robinson, the guy from The Office, who played, I forget his character's name, Daryl, I think.
Yeah,
he was headlining there. Somebody shot in the club, and then yesterday somebody shot up the mall in Greenwood, Indiana, a mall that I've been to numerous times because there was a club in Greenwood that I used to work, and there was a dollar movie theater right by the Greenwood Mall. So I would go there. I would go to that mall all the time. But so that's all. Country's still doing good. Things are still on the upswing. You would think maybe after some of these shootings, things would slow down, but we've got that stick-to-itiveness here in America. Keeps us moving. So that's. And then I went into a comedy club last night, and it was weird. Not because of the shooting, because this was supposedly the Geezer show.
This is the Geezer show,
The Geezer show.
I want to hear about that.
Well, not much to tell. It's I was a little offended. Some of the people that were booked had been asked if they were old enough to be on the show. I was not asked if I was old enough to be on the show. So I guess the guy who booked it just assumed I was truly a geezer, which is weird because I don't eat dinner till like 7:30 sometimes. I didn't eat dinner last night till I got home at 9:30. Look at me. I didn't care. But I was home for the news, which is, a very geezerly thing to say. The ironic part of the Geezer show, Cody, is it was not attended by geezers because I think this is all they do at the Laugh Factory is like these showcase shows. So they're free. You go on their website and you do the barcode and you get a ticket. You have a 2-item minimum once you're in there. And this show was 18 and over. So it's a group of 7 comics, all over 50, and 90% of the audience was between 18 and 25. So as you can tell, it was odd to say the least. Listen, I went up and I only had to do 15 minutes. Myself and the guy, I went on second to last. The guy went on last. We both had 15 minutes because we were the big timers. A couple guys had 10 minutes, and then a couple people had 7 minutes. So, I'm going to throw down 15. Well, of course, I'm going to try some new stuff at the beginning. So I'm doing some stuff about my wrist and how people don't care about other people's ailments and blah, blah, blah. And, it was new. I'd written it this week and it was, and it was getting tepid response, but I don't care. So I'm still up there. I'm selling it. And then I'm doing some stuff and I started on the marijuana story. And it was like, all of a sudden we were all speaking English because I start the marijuana story and the 25-year-olds are like whooping it up. They love it. Now they like the other stuff too, but this one, we had something in common. They were like, oh, look, my grandpa's getting high. This is exciting. But of course, now I'm into this story, which I should remember. Sometimes when I do it, it takes like 8 minutes, this story. This is a chunk. And I'm about halfway in and the light comes on. I'm like, oh, I gotta whip through the end. But it was weird. And they made us sit. Like, we're all adults. I get it. They don't want to go looking for, I don't know. I don't know how things run. Like normally, when you're on, you're going to be there. Well, they made us all sit on this bench. Like we were in the drunk tank at county, just waiting to go on. And we had to, they're like, we make the comics sit here. I go, we can't sit at that table in the back. No, you got to sit up here. Okay. You make grown people sit somewhere. That's weird. And we're sitting on the bench, going up. It was fine. It was, it was fine. But this weekend, I'm looking forward to. This weekend, I'm going to be in Kenosha at the Kenosha Comedy Club. I'll drop this on the screen there. Yes, it's a theme show. It's two Brians. It's my buddy Brian Hicks and myself. This is the owner of the club had this idea after we did the last time we were all there was for this comedy fest that he did I think back a few months ago, and he was like, would you guys want to do it together? We'll do this theme show in the summer, two Brians, blah blah blah. And Brian Hicks is a headliner in his own right. He's been doing comedy a long time, really funny, and I'm me. And so we were like, yeah, I said that'd be fine with me, and Brian was like, it's fine with me. So this weekend we will be there. One show Friday, one show Saturday, 8 p.m. Kenosha Comedy Club, KenoshaComedyClub.com. It's at the Wyndham in Kenosha. I may have to get some of that Third Gear brandy or the booze you got last week, the pre-made old fashions.
Do it.
I'll be right up in that area. Stop by Woodman's, my favorite place to get booze in Wisconsin.
Good
big
booze.
Grocery store. Good booze, good prices, good gas prices there. Gas prices are down. I got gas today. That's good. Nobody's thanking the president for that. They blamed him. But, now everybody, he doesn't control the gas prices. Wait, he controlled the gas prices last month, didn't he? Nope. No, we were just full of beans. Now, gas prices are fine. Everything's good. So not good. I think I paid $4.60 today, but that's better than $5 a couple weeks ago. That's four. I don't know if you can do the math, Cody. That's about, I know you're in a bad mental state. You're not feeling well, but that's 40 cents difference. That's a 40-cent drop.
I'm still doing the math.
All right. Trust me on this one. You don't have to fact check me, PolitiFact. I'm not spreading disinformation. I did $5 minus $4.60, 40 cents.
Okay.
That's the difference. That's all I'm saying. All right. How are you feeling?
My throat feels like it's going to seal itself shut.
All right. Well, let's wrap up.
You can keep going. I
want to do. First of all, I appreciate you saying, because I was going to text you. I was going to wait till later in the day because I thought that you would be sleeping. So I didn't want to text you early. And I was just going to say, give you all the options. What do you want to do? You want to cancel? You want to postpone? You want to do it? What do you want to do? Because I know how sick you were earlier in the weekend. And then you texted me and said, I want to come on and talk about this and give a PSA and tell people. So I commend you for that. Thank you for getting out of bed. Please, please get some rest. Please get some rest. Because you know what next weekend is? One of your favorite days. It's the big Deepwoods release. It's the 2-day fest starting on Friday at Revolution. I had to drive by. I went by Revolution the other day to pick something up from John from his Crust Fund pizza thing that I had bought. Now I won't be able to go because I'm going to be working in Kenosha, but you want to be better so you can get it, because you want to enjoy those beers.
I have a proxy picking mine up. Very excited.
Very nice. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. All right. Well, listen, go get some rest. Feel better. Keep in touch. We will talk next week. I'll read your tweets to keep up on your life and your rants and things like that. But until then, I'm never even going to make you say it. Do you want to say it?
I didn't even remember what I'm. Oh yeah, bye.
Bye.
That's all I got.
All right. Follow us, all that jazz. We'll talk to you later. Bye.